Webheads, it's never too early to start that pull list for next week, and hopefully this list helps you make decisions on what comic books to buy. Guys, I'm your host, Mike Spider Slayer. Welcome back to Comic Book Corner 2.0, and this is your top 10 most anticipated comics for March 23rd, 2022. But before we jump into it, guys, let's give a quick shout out to the sponsor of Mutant Beaver Comics. Guys, if you love exclusive variant comic book covers, go on to mutantbeavercomics.com. They have great customer service, top-notch packaging, and they have, again, a ton of exclusive variants to choose from. So if you want to save 10% off of your entire purchase, use my promo code CORNER10. You can save 10% off of your entire purchase and future purchases after that. Again, guys, mutantbeavercomics.com. You're not going to be disappointed. All right, guys, so let's kick this off with the hot seat, and this week's hot seat book goes to Iron Fist. This is issue 2. So we have the all-new Iron Fist, right? We get to learn that he's got the sword shard stuck in his hands, and you can't remove them. If you do, it can cause an imbalance in his chi and possibly kill him. You got Danny Rand chasing after him, going, dude, I'll help you out. You know, I was an Iron Fist. I know a little bit about it, and the dude ran away from him. It was a little bit weird type of issue, but I did enjoy it. But this is something that I'm going to have to be convinced if I'm going to read it in the long term. So I'm going to give it a couple issues here. This is on the hot seat because this is something that didn't blow me away, but I was intrigued. So we'll see where it goes. This one is 28 pages and this one is $4. But what's the series that's on the rise? Well, this one goes to Saga issue 57. I really enjoy this book, and I thought the last issue was really well done. The first issue, The Return, in issue 56, we kind of got a jumping on point of where our character's at. Now we have our mission in place for our main character, Alana, and it seems like she really has no choice because this person was like, dude, you can either get really rich and just do the mission, or, you know, I'm going to do something very harmful to your kids. And it looks like she really doesn't have a choice, but she might as well go down the other path. How this mission pans out, I don't know, we'll see, but it looks like based off of this cover, this particular issue might be dealing with the bounty hunter known as the Will and his cat named Lying Cat, who can obviously tell when someone is lying, because when someone is lying, he will always say lying, and that's why his name is Lying Cat. They were separated towards the end of the volume, and so it looks like they're trying to establish that relationship again. If that's the case in this issue, I cannot wait for this book because these two are wonderful characters. This book is 32 pages, and this is only a price tag of $3. So now we officially count down to from number 10 all the way down to number 1, and this one goes to Wolverine Patch issue 1. So this one is done by Larry Hama. He returns to write the character, and this story takes place before the Wolverine series back in the day. So if you're into Patch and if you're into that time period of Wolverine, I definitely suggest that you're going to want to pick this one up. This was a little bit before my time. I did not read Wolverine at this time, but I am going to check it out to see what it has to offer for me and if I can get into the story. I do have some of these Wolverine books, but I never really had enough of them to read to comprehend what was going on in the story. So again, I'm looking forward to this, seeing what it has to offer. It's got some cool variant covers, 28 pages, $4. Coming in at number 9, we have Maestro World War M, another book that's taking place by a original writer or writer that did a character of a run for a very long time, and he's been fleshing out the Maestro character. Peter David has done a phenomenal job with the series as a whole. This is the trilogy, the last story of this trilogy. Again, it's titled World War M, Battle at Pacifica. So we have a bunch of people teaming up to do battle against Maestro here, and of course Maestro wants to overtake him. They attacked him in the last issue, and now it looks like he's going to in the Pacific Ocean to battle against them. I felt that the first part of this story wasn't nearly as strong as the previous 2 story arcs, but nevertheless, it is an entertaining read. I'm not a huge Namor fan, maybe that's why, but I am very curious to see how this whole story will finish off. But if you ever want to learn more about Maestro, this is the story to follow. Moving on to number 8, we have Detective Comics. This is issue 1058. This is it, guys. This is the end of the Arkham Tower storyline. If you guys have been dreading this story, well, it's over, right? And you can't be happier. If you've enjoyed this storyline, then you'll get the conclusion to it, right? We get our Caped Crusader. He is back in Detective Comics once again. And again, people couldn't be happier. And it looks like they will close out this whole thing with Psycho Pirate and Scarecrow and everybody else. Overall, this story has been pretty much entertaining. I've enjoyed it. Not happy to see Scarecrow back in the mix of things. Like, I thought he was done, and now he's like back as like the main villain in this again. But for the most part, it has been an enjoyable read, and I love the detective part of the story, kind of like the beginning and the middle the most, because it was great to see the Bat family working together to solve this mystery. So this book is 40 pages, $5. Don't forget the backup story at the end. Next, we move on to number 7. This is We Have Demons, issue 1. I think this was Scott Snyder's Comixology book, and now it's coming out in physical form. And this is Scott Snyder, Greg Capullo. I'm checking this out just because I am a Scott Snyder fan. I am a Greg Capullo fan. I didn't read it in Comixology, and I think this is being released through Dark Horse. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I have no idea what the hell this book is about, but again, when you have these creators on this type of book, it's definitely worth that first issue read. This is 32 pages, and this one is $5. So getting closer to number 1, book by book at a time, we have now number 6. This is Robin. This is issue 12. Damian is going back to Gotham, and his mission looks like that it's going to resurrect Alfred, which, fingers crossed, everybody, that this character will come back soon. But it looks like before Damian does anything, it looks like he has to battle demons against himself. Don't know what that's about, doesn't go into too much detail, but it looks like it's kind of going to be a little bit of a filler issue before we get back to that main story arc of him again trying to resurrect Alfred. Definitely looking forward to it. 32 pages, $4. Great series by Joshua Williamson. Now we're in our top 5, and number 5 is a book that you guys are probably super surprised at because it's got Power Rangers in it, and this is Godzilla First the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers issue 1. Listen, it's got Godzilla in it, and it's got Power Rangers. It's like mechs and big monsters fighting each other, and I hope Godzilla like destroys the Power Rangers. And I'm curious though how they mix these two things together. You know, is it Rita that's actually using an ancient artifact to bring back Godzilla to do battle? Because she always, you know, brings up these kaiju monsters anyway to do battle against the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. So Godzilla is no different, right? So instead of some random thing, you put Godzilla in there. I'm looking forward to this. This could be a lot of fun. And we have 40 pages, and this one is $40. $40. And this is 40 pages, and this one is $4. Yeah, it's not $40. All right, so let's move forward now to number 4. And number 4 goes to my favorite Spawn book, and that is Gunslinger Spawn. This is issue 6. The epic battle with the new clown concludes, guys. So this is the end of this particular story arc, and this battle with Gunslinger and Clown has been epic. You've gotten to see Clown separate himself from the Violator creature because of different time travel periods, and Clown wants Gunslinger to join him by his side to possibly open up those doors. That's been going on in the Spawn comic for quite a while, and Clown promises Gunslinger to bring him back to his time period, and that's the only reason why Gunslinger would team up with him to begin with. So awesome book. Brett Booth artwork is so dynamic. It has so much energy. Love reading and looking at that book. 24 pages, and again, only $3. So now we're at the top 3. And when I read the description of this book, I was like, man, I'm on board with this. This looks like a lot of fun. This is Rogues Issue 1, done by DC Black Label. And this is a story that takes place like 10 years ago when the Rogues disbanded and went their separate ways. But time hasn't been kind to these characters. They've been in dead-end jobs. They've been treated wrong. They've been in broken relationships. And just nothing has gone right for them. So what they're going to do is they're going to do one last job that will leave them more richer than what they could ever imagined. So they're basically getting the band back together, and they're going to invade Gorilla City and go after Grodd himself to steal some particular treasure. I'm on board with that. That looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. I mean, we've seen stories like this before where, you know, villains have disbanded and have done one last job. We've seen that, but it's the Rogues, man. I think that could be a great book, and looking forward to it. And again, it's DC Black Label, so it's going to be a little bit edgier. This is $7 comic book, but I'm on board with it. The only thing, of course, it's probably going to be oversized. That's only downfall. What's number 2? Well, it's another book that goes to a classic writer writing a classic character, and this is Venom Lethal Protector issue 1. So we're going back to the days of Venom when he was the Lethal Protector, right out of the pages of Amazing Spider-Man, and David Michelinie is the one that is writing this story. I could not be happier. Listen, we all have our favorite iterations of our characters, what we grew up to, what we first read, which we think is our favorite. And this time period for Venom is my favorite. This is when the character was fairly new. Lord knows how many stories I read from David Michelinie when it comes to Amazing Spider-Man, and I am on board with this. This is Eddie Brock when he was a down-on-his-luck reporter, right? This is before he became the King in Black, whatever he is right now. This is that time period. So I am so on board with this. Looking forward to it. 36 pages, and this one is $5. I love how Marvel is doing these throwback stories, you know, fitting these stories in between, you know, certain other stories, and it has some of the original writers writing it. That's great, man, because if you're a fan of that stuff and not a fan of the modern stuff, then there's something there for you to read, and that's what's so great about comics. There's got to be something there that you'll enjoy, right? So if you don't want to read that modern stuff and you're all negative and you hate it all, read the classic stuff, the classic modern day stories. All right. But what's better than a Venom book? Well, it's got to be a Spider-Man book. And this one is The Amazing Spider-Man issue 93. And mainly because this story arc is finally ending, and I cannot wait for it to end because it's definitely had its ups and downs, but I feel like it's had more downs than ups. And the only really good issues of this for me was when they introduced Queen Goblin, and they dealt with that storyline when Peter Parker made his way back into the book. But the last couple of issues have been depressing, and now it looks like, I don't know, based off of this cover, that we're going to see these two Spider-Man fight. Let me see if I get a description here. It says, the Beyond finale. The big finale of Beyond. Spider-Man versus Spider-Man. You may surprise yourself with who you're rooting for. Don't miss the conclusion to one of the most surprising Spider-Man stories of the past decade. Final issue, legacy numbering 894. So that's it, guys. This is the end. What happens to Ben Reilly after this story? Does he get his memory back? Does he forget everything? Does he die? Let me know in the comments below what you want to happen to Ben Reilly. So there you guys have it. There are my top 10 most anticipated comics for March 23rd, 2022. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I want to know what you're looking forward to also in the comments below. And of course, guys, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe. Don't forget to hit that bell so you don't miss any notifications from me. And speaking of content, I'll leave you more content right here to check on. That is my top 10 comic book covers of the week, where you get to vote on your favorite comic book cover. And of course, guys, keep buying, keep collecting, but most importantly, never forget to read your comic books. Guys, thank you so much. I'll see you real soon. Bye.